All right, I guess we will begin in a couple of minutes, seconds now. Just before that, okay, we got Sneha also with us. Thank you, Sneha, for joining us. Superb, superb. Just in a few seconds now, and we will begin.
Hi, Sneha. Thank you for joining.
Hi,
Okay.
Swati. Thank you.
We have my dad also, Josh Thomas. Thanks, Dad. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Adil, for the reminder. I just
Oh,
got it.
Josh
Thank you. Thank you
Thomas.
very much.
Ajay, thank you so much, sir.
Hi, Mr. Thomas. Thank you for joining in.
Oh, there's another Thomas. Okay, fine. So, guys, let's just begin here. Welcome to RV Leadership Talks, the podcast where you dive deep into challenges and opportunities that shares today's professional landscape. I'm your host, Atul Abraham Mathew, and I am thrilled to kick off our very first episode with someone who's been transforming careers and inspiring professionals across the globe. Joining us today is our dear Swati Arora, a leadership development specialist, TEDx speaker, and a career coach who's helped countless professionals break through their career boundaries. With her extensive experience in leadership development and personal branding, Swati brings a unique perspective on one of the most pressing challenges facing today's workforce, that is career stagnation. So I am super excited to invite, I mean, welcome. I'm so sorry. Just putting everything on mute, everyone on mute. Yes, thank you so much. Welcome, Swati. Did I miss out on anything? Welcome to the show, the first episode of RV TED Talk. I mean, podcast. How are you, Swati?
I'm wonderful. I'm doing great. And Atul, and thank you for having me here. I'm as delighted as you are, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Sometimes I wonder, is it me only, or is it someone, two, three people together that people are introducing? But thank you so much. That was a very nice introduction that you've given. Thank you. And
Thank you so
I'm
much.
delighted to be here with you.
Yes, we are equally delighted to have you on behalf of RV Learning Solutions. We are so grateful to have you here. And today we're going to talk about a very sensitive topic. I would say sensitive. This is a topic that is close to home for many of us, breaking free from career stagnation, why professionals get stuck, and how to bounce back. Swati, let's dive right into something many of us listeners might be wondering about. What are the early signs that indicate a professional is entering career stagnation? And how often do you people miss these signals?
Okay, interesting. So while we talk about career stagnation, I think right. I think rightly put the question is, what are the early signs? One of the early signs, I feel, when you feel that work becomes monotonous, right?
Hmm.
There is no enthusiasm left. It's like you're just going with the flow. It's just doing the motion, right? So every single day you're not enthused about going to work. You're not really getting an opportunity to involve yourself into challenging opportunities. You're not thinking out of the box. You're not pushing yourself out of the comfort zone. So those
Mhm.
are the things when you actually say that, that's an early warning signal. And a lot of working professionals, forget about working professionals, very senior leaders as well sometimes don't come
Mhm.
to know, because we feel stability is growth, right? I'm
Absolutely.
stable in an organization. I've been here for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and we carry that as a prestige symbol. Oh, I'm doing a great job.
Mhm.
But probably that is your stagnation mode. And
Mhm.
one of the things that I keep saying in my sessions as well, that if you are not moving to the next level, and I'm not saying with virtue to the just the designation part, but also if you're not
Mhm.
learning a new skill, if you're not getting into a new role, if you're not really transitioning out of your earlier role and moving into some extended version of that, in at least 3 years, not every year, maybe that I don't think we have that much of flexibility in any organization. But if in 3 years also you're not seeing any difference in the way you were working earlier to what you are working
Mhm.
now, I think that should be a typical early warning sign, right? That, yeah, I am stagnated. I think I need to do something more. I need to come out of the comfort zone. I think that is what in the early warning sign would be. And yeah, I think that's something which really people don't look at, most of the times, because they ignore all of that, because they look at stability and they feel that, I'm glad that I'm stable in an organization. I'm being here, at least I'm employed now, especially in the job market right now. Employment itself is a big thing, right? Because there are a
Yes,
lot of
yes.
people who are not in jobs, right? But again, that
Mhm.
is a sign of career stagnation when you're not moving ahead, when you're not enthused of something, when you're not taking up responsibilities. I think that's something which is really one common early warning signal, I would say, which one must look into.
Mhm. Now, when you came up with this topic, career stagnation, it really hit me. It really hit me because so many people are either comfortable where they are, or maybe they are not understanding that where they are right now is not a safe zone. But what you really
Hmm.
mentioned about the warning signs is quite interesting. Now, here comes to my next question is, in your
Mhm.
experience, what is the most common self-imposed barrier that keeps talented professionals stuck in their comfort zones?
Most self-imposed barrier I feel is fear. Fear of, and fear not of, not the literal word fear, but I would say fear of change, fear
Mm,
of taking risks, fear of the unknown, fear of, taking anything new, right? What if someone will say something? So I think fear is the biggest barrier for a lot of people. I feel that they're not able to come out of the comfort zone while they know they are stuck. And a lot of people I meet day in and day out, I run a community of working professionals, and I know many of them are stuck. But there's a lot of fear. How will I, if I take a risk like this, if I take a leap of faith, if I join a new organization, or if I take a new role, will I be able
mm,
to succeed in that?
okay.
Or what if I fail? Actually, there's also a lot of element on our society doesn't allow failure. A corporate environment doesn't allow failure, right? How many times we are seeing organizations, one
There's no
failure and
room.
you're like
Absolutely.
termed as not a good leader, or not a person who will take it on. Someone else will be put on the job, right? So that is a
Mhm.
very big, the judgmental part, that people will judge me, whether it's peer group, whether it's my seniors, whether it's my friends. That's what is kind of hindering people to take up a leap of faith. I've seen professionals, they don't take up to leadership positions. I mean, I've been doing leadership roles, leadership training for more than 2 decades now.
Okay.
And I keep and we keep giving opportunities to people to take up leadership positions, to go on site, and also to take up leadership positions. But when they get that, on the face value, they would say, yes, Swati, I really want to do that, I really want to go for this opportunity. But when I
Mhm.
say, okay, yeah, say, Atul, I have an opportunity for you now that you've done your work, I think you're a great leader. I have an opportunity for you to go to the Europe and maybe set up a business, set up a team there, handle a project there. And Atul is thinking in his mind, I will have to leave my family here. I'll have to go all the way there. I will have to set up my own entire self there. I will leave my comfort of my established team here, have to go back there and establish a new team there. What if I fail? What if I'm not able to meet up to the expectations of my leadership? What happens then? My well established tenure of the last 15 years will go down the drain if I'm not able to meet up to expectations. So I think
Mhm.
that is one of the biggest barriers I feel people have when it comes to overcoming their comfort zone.
The
If we
barriers,
were
of
able
course.
to take some mini steps to overcome the fear, I would say, and again, I'm not saying just jump into it, but overcome fear one step at a time. Take some micro steps towards that overcoming of the fear. I think that would really help working professionals and everyone, I would say that.
When speaking about fear, that's the reason why you are here to help us overcome that fear. And I hope everyone here are agreeing with me. If you're all with me, let's see those thumbs up. Let's see those thumbs up. Come on, guys, give me some virtual thumbs up. How do you find the session so far? Come on, let's see those thumbs ups. Yes, yes, a few thumbs ups coming here and there. Thank you so much, Ruchi. That's wonderful.
Thank
That's
you.
superb. Thank you so much, Sneha, for the lovely heart, the beautiful heart. Yes, yes, that's amazing. Now, Swati, if you remember, I mean, I remember the first time I seen you was on digital format, in the sense that we were in this format, in this platform where we had to compete with each other as a super speaker and all. And that's where I seen you. I seen your charismatic your appearance, the way you presented yourself. It was all digital. Now,
Mm,
when we talk about digital, how has the digital
mm.
transformation era impacted career stagnation? And what new challenges does it present in the mid-career professionals for mid-career professionals?
I think it's really changed the landscape completely, especially with the digital era coming in, especially all the AI, ML tools coming up. You know, companies taking to innovation and customers talking about what next, what innovation are you bringing to the table. I think
Mm,
everyone is talking about AI driven tools, AI driven insights, etc. While it is very good, I'm not, I'm a strongest promoter of AI. I use it extensively, I teach it extensively. I'm not saying that, but you know what happens is why it is really how it has really impacted especially the mid career professionals, right? Because so the Gen Z population, they're starting with it. So they have an advantage because they are like, they are pros and they have been in the generation where they've been born with technology at their, at their side, and they have been now, and it's only advancing. But for a professional, think
yes.
about it. For a professional, say 20 years he's been in the career, okay, and
Mhm,
and I've seen people, I'm talking about literal examples here. He's been
mhm,
in the business, he's been into operations, he's been working with data, he's been great at data analysis and managing strategical transformations for customers. But he's using his own methodology, which is the pre
methodology.
pandemic era, how we used to have
Mhm,
without the
mhm.
AI tools, etc. And
Exactly.
now come to this post pandemic where companies are expecting the same leaders to be very pro and adept at AI tools, maybe use a Power BI tool, or maybe use a, maybe some data analytics tools, and, have the same operations run in this format. Now, for
Mhm.
that person, a mindset shift is required. What he's
Come
looking
on.
at is that, how is this going to help me, and how fast can I unlearn and learn the new, transformation system,
Mhm,
the new AI tools, right? So that is something which is kind of a, a tug of war which is going on, and I see that, and while I
mhm,
empathize a lot with the generation which is really going through that, because I know
mhm,
that, we all come from that era, at least I come from that era. But I think the only thing is, again, I would say take mini steps at the same time. I think
mhm, mhm.
I keep saying this, unlearning, learning, and relearning is the only way to go ahead. If we really
Wow.
want to be,
Wow.
relevant in the industry, if we really want to be out there and keep performing and keep doing better, upskilling is the only way of the game, right? There is no other way. You really can't do anything. But again, I would say, when I say upskilling, I do a lot of upskilling myself. I teach a lot of things for my community as well, and to my in my office organization as well. But again, another question that kind of bothers a lot of people or haunts a lot of people is what to learn, how to learn, when to learn. Where is
Mhm.
the time?
Correct.
you
Correct.
know, Today a Swati Arora will say, okay, go learn Chat GPT and Copilot. Tomorrow,
Mhm.
my manager says, okay, learn Tableau. Someone says, learn data analytics. Someone says, learn program management. There are so many other things, so many things to learn. So I think a methodical way would be, and in a nutshell, I would just say that, prioritize your upskilling as well. Don't jump into
Upskilling.
everything at the same time, because I do see professionals jumping into like 10 certifications and not
Oh,
finishing off even one, right? So
yes.
prioritize what is important for your work, for your profile, for yourself to grow, and then,
Mhm.
takes one step at a time. But yeah, upskilling is the need of the hour. It's no more a luxury. Back in the day, about 10 years back, Atul, if I talk about it, upskilling, if we ever, take up any certification, I remember when I did my black belt, Six Sigma black belt, my
Oh.
friends used to be like in awe. Oh wow, why are you doing this?
Mhm.
So much you've invested in this and all of that. They were like very much in awe as to it's a great thing to do, because it was a
Yes.
good to have thing. It was a
Mhm,
luxury, right?
mhm,
Someone who
mhm,
had a fascination or money, either of the two
mhm.
things, they would invest in the certification. But today, I think that's the need of the hour for
The need of
every
the hour.
working professional to invest in themselves. I keep saying
Oh,
that every time, everywhere, in every forum. Unless I invest in myself, no one will invest in me. Simple.
I like that.
I
I
like
like that.
park
I think
myself here and
I
park my
think you need to
pocket.
rephrase the unlearning, learning, and relearning, and make it reinvest in yourself. What do you say?
Reinvent. Yeah,
Yeah.
invest.
Guys, what do you think about that? Reinvest. Can we see a reinvest? Can you write down reinvest on the comments? Come on, let's see. Reinvest in yourself. Swati is so right about reinvesting in yourself. And today, thank you so much, Mr. George. Yes, reinvest in yourselves. Many of us are looking forward to that growth. Many of us is looking forward to that upgrade in life. And the best thing we could do is to reinvest in ourselves. Many, like, I've come across many of my fellow mates who would always take age as consideration. I'm old now. What am I supposed to do now? Swati, have
Hmm.
you come across many of people who are like, I'm old now. What am I supposed? I'm happy with whatever I have.
Yeah, I do come across with a lot of people like that. But yeah, I think again, I would say learning is not about age. Learning
Correct.
is,
Correct.
I think there was a phrase, and I would like to quote. I don't know who
Please.
has written this, but
Please.
when you stop learning, you stop growing. And if you're not growing, you're not living at all. You're dead,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right? So I think that's the model, that's the essence that you need to keep in mind, that it is
Mhm.
about learning, it is about growing. If I don't, and today, especially in this digital era, since you brought about that topic, it is about that. Someone I read in an article, I think in a video podcast or something, they say, if you're not moving ahead, it's not
Mhm.
that you're standing still, because the world is moving so rapidly. If you're not moving one step at a time, it's not that you're standing still, you're actually going backwards. So by the
Whoa.
time,
Whoa.
yeah, so if you think, okay, fine, I'm not
Brilliant.
moving ahead, I'm at least staying put and I'm comfortable. No, that's even dangerous, because while you're staying still, the world is taking three steps at the same time. And by the end of the day, you'll realize you moved three steps back. So it's even more dangerous today. So it's important to keep pace and keep moving. Even if you take micro steps, it's okay. Baby steps, it's okay. But yeah, keep moving. I think that's very important.
Absolutely. I like the part about if you are not moving fast, move slow.
Yeah,
Correct? I think there's a Japanese quote on that. Move slow. At least you are moving. As
correct.
long as you're moving, as long as you're breathing, trust me, you would reach your destination, you would reach your goal, and you would reach your desired position. So
Absolutely.
now here comes to my fourth and last questions to you. I think
Sure.
we need to give some time to our audience also to ask a few questions. So
Yeah.
what role does personal branding, that's the, what do you say, that's the thing of the hour, personal branding, play in breaking free from career stagnation? And how can professionals efficiently reinvent in themselves?
Very, very, and I mean, and you touched the right chord, I would say, because this is something which is my I talk about it a lot. My favorite topic, personal branding. Personal branding, I think for me has been a game changer, right? I would say, and I'll talk about my success story and then how it's transforming. I'm moving ahead. So I've been a trainer all my life, 25 years, precisely 24.5, 25 years I've been training, right? But first 20 years of my life, no one knew me. No one, as in my organization, where you work,
Organize.
you pretty much work with 5,000, 10,000 people. I'm training people, I'm helping people. No one knew the impact outside in the world. No one knew what impact I'm doing, what kind of training I'm doing. Probably I was saying the same thing that I'm saying right now, but yeah, maybe there's evolution a little bit. I've learned a little bit more. Done some certification in the last 5, 6 years. But what I'm saying is that the personal brand, when I've consciously focused on my personal brand, on building a personal brand for myself,
Mhm.
and talking about what I do, talking about showcasing how I can help people, how my coaching sessions are helping people, how my trainings can really let people go to the next level. That is when the world came to know that, yeah, there is someone called Swati Arora. There is someone who
Mhm.
can teach us, who can let us know with her experience. She can take us to from A to point B. So and that's precisely what it is. So and I'll probably say this sentence in Hindi. जो दिखता
Please.
है वही बिकता है, right? uh, what's visible
Absolutely.
is tellable, right? That's
Yes.
the mantra of today. And and especially we are living in a socially connected world, right?
Yes,
If you are someone, if we are someone who's saying, okay, I'll just work and that's it, everyone will come to know about my work, I'm just going to go to office, work on my laptop, do a great stuff, but I'll come back home, not visibilize myself, trust me, you're going to be left behind again. Right? Why? Because today
absolutely.
is not, we are in such a fast-paced world. No manager, no employer has the time to check and see on every desk what is each person doing unless you are branding yourself, unless you're
Absolutely.
visualizing yourself. So personal branding, I would say, works in both ways. A, branding yourself inside your organization. First, that is very important. A lot of people
Yes.
don't even know how to do that, right? And keep telling my team members, I keep telling many people that, you're good at what you're doing, but how will the world know? If I'm good at what I'm doing, how will people know that I'm good at what I'm doing? How will people know that
Mhm.
my trainings have impacted 10,000 people unless I'm able to show the results and unless I'm able to talk about it? My CEO would not know, my CEO would not know, my customers would not know, right? Unless I have testimonials taken down, I have success stories shared with people, I have people talking about, the kind of impact that they have driven through Swati's training, they would not know. So one is, we need to learn to blow our own trumpet. We need to
Trumpet.
learn to visualize ourselves. I think that's the right word, to brand ourselves inside our organizations as well.
Mhm.
If you're spending 80%, 100% of the time right now just to work, I think 80% spend time on working and 20% on branding yourself as well. That's first. Second is in the outside world. Right now, why personal branding in the outside world is important, especially I'll talk about, I'm not talking about the social media world, like the entertainment world, like Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, etc. I'm talking about LinkedIn as a platform. Yeah, working professionals, LinkedIn is a go-to platform, correct? Now,
Yes.
there are so many working professionals when we talk about career stagnation, and I see people with 20, 25 years plus experience, and now they are stuck. Imagine if they would have had a network on LinkedIn. They, at least in 20 years, they must have worked with at least 20,000 people, right? Every year
Yes.
you work
Yes.
with people, you have employers, you have customers, you have vendors, you have team members, etc. But where are those 20,000 people? Have we remained in touch with them? Are we in connect with them through our network, through our LinkedIn profile, or through something, some source? That is where, and I teach personal branding on LinkedIn, on how
Oh,
you can capitalize your personal branding on LinkedIn, how you can build your network on LinkedIn. Better late than never, but it has to be very, very, now it's the time where your network will help you, especially mid-career professionals. Like they say, your network is your net worth, right? Your network is actually what the cash that you carry. It's not about the bank balance, it's not about the
bank
properties
balance.
that you hold. What is the
It's a
network that
worth.
it's the network that I have is actually what my value is in the industry. If today I stand out in the industry and I go somewhere and 10 people know me, that is my value. It's not about what designation
Nice.
I hold or what salary I'm earning. No. So I think that's very important. And how it helps you is in multiple ways, not only in getting a job. No,
Mhm.
I mean, that's a very small way to look at it. Okay. When we talk about personal branding and networking, it's not just about getting a job or getting a promotion or something, but networking helps in multiple ways. I mean, you just spoke about it, right? We know each other through some
Like
contest that
success jam.
yeah, success,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
And
knew each other.
1.5, 2 years later, we are sitting in a podcast and we are talking to each other,
Wow.
and
Wow.
you've invited me for that. So, I mean, it's a real life example that I'm giving you, right? So that
Yes.
is what network is. You get opportunities. I was called to the TEDx platform for because of my network. I get a lot of I've written a anthology, a book, a chapter in a book through my
Oh,
network. Yeah.
wow.
So, multiple things. And there are multiple things you can do. You can become a speaker, you can become a thought leader,
Right.
you can, start your own side hustle. You can just visibilize yourself a lot and the world will know and recognize what you do. But if you're just a silent worker, doing a fabulous job, wonderful, but no one knows you, I think it's really, really sad because, that's when you're not capitalizing your true worth. I think personal branding is very important, and not for anyone else's sake, but for your own sake. You should brand yourself because the world is on going on that principle right now.
Oh,
Sorry, I
that
stole
was really
your. I
no, you didn't. We were really captivated. If you've seen the chat box, people were like really agreeing to what you were saying, and we were really taken away by the way you said net worth. You really redefined it in such a way that we're really amazed to hear that. I truly agree with for us as trainers, it all started somewhere.
yeah.
For me especially, it started with I started as an HR, and I seen a gap when students couldn't even speak, and they would
Mm,
come to me and ask, how do I present myself? That is
yeah.
where my discovery started as a trainer. For you, for everyone who's present here, there is a story behind everything. And if we don't brand ourselves in today's world, I don't know, it's going to be sad to, end our lives without a notice, like we haven't even put it out there in the world, like, hey, Swati Arora, career coach. Swati, I've seen a lot of testimonies on your personal page, and I must say, you have really walked the talk.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that just to tell it in front of everybody, but I've seen the way your testimonies just come out, the way really people are appreciating you for your work. And I can see it that there are more coming up projects for you. I really believe there are projects as you are working on recently, and that's only to target those who are in need of personal branding, as you are a career coach, one of a kind career coach. So, Swati, now is the time when we give the audience an opportunity to ask their doubts. So, guys, it's all up to you now. Anybody, please unmute and ask away, and Miss Swati would delightfully answer your questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I would
Anybody?
love.
Yes. Questions related to what was spoken today. Come on. Ms. Swati is a coach, and she herself can help counsel you in various areas of stagnation.
Yeah, you could unmute and speak, or you could put it in the chat, whatever is
Yeah,
feasible.
that's a good idea. Maybe put it out on the chat for us to just read it out and answer it for you. Come on,
Yeah.
anyone. Don't be shy. We can't see you.
Yeah. One of the things of personal branding is not being shy.
Yeah, that's right. Shy is like, my goodness. Come on. Yes. Yes, anyone. Yeah. We got Mr.
Swati,
George.
George down here. What's the best way for personal branding to enhance oneself through the personal branding?
Hmm. What's the
Can you give
best way to personal branding?
best
Okay.
way? Yeah,
Yeah.
best way. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll talk about first and foremost, when I say personal branding and best way, I would not say best way or worst way, but I think to start with, and I do believe a lot of people, before branding myself or before branding oneself on any platform, whether it's LinkedIn or YouTube or wherever, any platform, I think first is about self-awareness. Who am I? What are my strengths? What do I stand for? What do I bring to the table when I meet someone? What are my so-called USPs, right? Unique selling point, right?
Mm,
So I need to know that very clearly. My definition of what is myself has to be very, very clear, right? So that you're not sending out multiple diverted messages to the world, right? So
mm,
I think first is on self-reflection and self-awareness. And that's the journey that we go through when I do my personal branding session as well, to understand your own true value, to understand your own true strengths. What do you bring to the table? What are you best at? You're an HR leader. What are you best at? You're a program manager. What are you best at? You're a problem solver. What are you best at? You're an IT director. What do you do best in that particular role, right? So what are you best at and what do you bring to the table? That's first. And then understanding your target audience, for whom you're creating content, because you're branding, right? You're going to create content, you're going to send awareness, you're going to write your own stories, right? So you need to understand your niche or your target audience. Who are you creating content for? Whom do you want your content to be consumed by? You need to know your target audience. You can't just be going out there and presenting yourself to anyone and everyone. And finally, I think you should be working a little bit on your storytelling. I think strategic storytelling. Why? Because, and why do I say that is because, we all have stories. See, what is personal brand? I'm not a strong promoter of go and just start writing articles on LinkedIn. Anyone can do that. Chat GPT can do that for you. That's
mm,
not what I promote, right? Um, uh, but what's basically going to tell me what is George all about, or what is Atul all about, or what is Swati all about, is about what stories we have lived, how we have handled the situations in our life, how we have handled our customers. It comes out with an element, right? So, for example, there was a problem statement that the customer asked us to deliver a project before timeline. How did I manage that, and how did I get the entire team to work towards it? It kind of brings out what is my value system. How did I handle that? So that is what personal branding for me is about: self reflection, about understanding your audience, and to be able to have a knack of storytelling and projecting what you've done through the journey, through those stories, through those small situations in your life. And trust me, all of us have immense stories to say, and stories sell more than anything else, right? We all know that. So I think these three things are for me the core of personal branding. Rest everything hovers around it. Obviously, you have fancy content, you create multiple ways of engaging with audiences, but at the core, these are the three things for me. I hope I answered your question, George.
Yes, Mr. George, I hope that answers your question. Really relevant. That really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Actually, I have been hearing about personal branding for a long, but I mean, for a few years, even I attended something, but I'm not very clear about things, I mean, why is it so? Maybe the way I think that. But actually, I should correct, it's a best practice. That is what I meant. I said best way, but I mean best practice to enhance your personal branding. That was my question. Thank you very much. You have nailed the point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. Thank you so much. Swati, are you with us still? I guess there's some technical issue at Swati's side.
Frozen like.
Yeah, she's frozen. I think there's some. Swati, can you rejoin us again? I guess Swati will rejoin us. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is. Yeah, I guess we got Swati back.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much for rejoining. I was just saying that. So, Mr. George was really, really impressed by the way you responded to it, and he said that you nailed it. Now, we got a next question from Sneha. Sneha would like LinkedIn is for professionals, but I have noticed people using Facebook and Instagram too. Should it be equally important to put yourself on these platforms, or is only LinkedIn suffice?
So that's a very interesting question, Sneha. So, yeah, you can use all the three platforms, but again, like I said, where is your first is understanding your audience, right? And where is your audience? Okay, so why do I say LinkedIn is because when you're a working professional, you want to see. For example, I'm a training person. I'm into L&D for so many years. Who is going to be my target audience? Someone who aspires to be at this position, someone who aspires to learn from and become a L&D head or go more into training and L&D, right? So this audience is going to be where? They're going to be on what platform? Accordingly, you can space out yourself, right? I mean, if you think they're going to be on Instagram, put your content out there, no problem. I do that I myself as well. If you think they're going to be there on Facebook, yeah, do that as well. But again, I've seen mainly Facebook and Instagram is more of a edutainment platform. I call it edutainment, a combination of education and entertainment. And sometimes it's a very thin line. And I'll be very honest with you. I put out same content sometimes. I put out a lot of reels on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook as well. And I put the same reels sometimes on on LinkedIn as well. Okay. But the reach and the feedback and the response that I get on LinkedIn is much more, and LinkedIn and YouTube rather, is much more and much, I would say rich response I get as compared to what I get on Instagram and Facebook. I'm not demeaning those platforms, but I'm just saying people are using that platform mainly for consumption of entertainment purposes, right? Yeah. So when someone is, like when someone is at 12 o'clock in the night, someone is sleepy and scrolling mindlessly through those reels, they are not looking for an education or a gyan session from Swati Arora. They are not. But they are looking for something, maybe some very a light-hearted comedy or whatever, whatever you want to consume. But on a LinkedIn, when you come, you're consciously looking for learning, you're consciously looking for how I can grow, what are the new trends in the industry, what are the new news, etc. So yeah, I think that's where you have to draw the line, figure out where your audience is, and accordingly create content for every platform. If you think they're more on LinkedIn, create more opportunities for LinkedIn.
Wow, that's interesting. I hope that answers your questions, Neha.
Yes, thank you so much, Swati. This really clears, because sometimes I kept thinking that I don't observe much on Facebook and Insta myself. However, I always kept thinking that, okay, if I'm not putting myself out there on these platforms as well, I will not be doing sufficient towards my own personal branding. And that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons I thought, let me ask, do you think that this can work? Or do you think this really makes sense? And should we be spending time behind that as well, rather than just be on LinkedIn?
No,
Although,
no,
of course,
I
I'm
wouldn't
there.
say, no, I wouldn't say experiment it, Sneha, experiment. See, I'm also there. Like I said, I'm also there on Facebook. I'm also there on Instagram. But the amount of time I spend on LinkedIn is much more.
Right.
Those are those are just platforms where I can generate the leads. I have my campaigns running, but actual work I do on LinkedIn, right? So you do your
Right.
experimentation. You will come to know. Your audience will tell you. The best is your
Yeah.
audience tells you what they need, and accordingly you can deliver. If you feel, see, for me it worked that way. For you it could work the other way around. I don't know what's your niche. For example, a lot of my people, my one of my coaches is a English proficiency teacher. She's now certified IELTS trainer as well. And
Right.
I'm helping her in personal branding, and we've built her brand on both on Instagram and Facebook as well. But her
Mhm.
video, her content is more sellable, more likable on Instagram, because she is creating content for homemakers. She's creating content for students. She's creating content for
Right.
young adults, and that
Mhm.
population hosted there. So she's getting a lot of traction there. So I think
Right.
as for your target audience, spread it out, create content, and create bite sizes of content and put across everywhere.
Sure. Works. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Sneha, for that. That's amazing, amazing. Now, when you meant by byte, you meant by video or contents, the type of contents meaning by, it can be anything, right? Byte contents.
Okay, I'll
It
give
can
you
be
a
video.
bite-sized content. I'll tell you in a very current, whatever we're doing right now.
Yes,
So this
yes.
is a 35 minutes podcast that we've done right now.
Mhm.
This is one full content, right? It's a long
Yes.
form video which will go on to your YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever, right? This is a full long form content. Bite-sized content would be you could create 25, 30 bite-sized capsule content out of this and put it across in different platforms. You could put three of them on YouTube, three of them on Instagram, a couple of them on LinkedIn. That's bite size. Yeah,
So 25 to 30 seconds, correct?
30. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So
And why
that's
do we do
amazing.
that is also interesting, because today the learner retention. I was in an event last week, an L&D event, and one of the constant things a lot of L&D professionals are saying that the learner retention is going down. The retention power of a
Power.
of a what was that?
Listener, a
A,
listener or a
a
learner.
listener. No, no, the retention power of a goldfish is 8
Oh,
seconds.
goldfish. 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, yes, a goldfish. Yeah.
Power of an adult, of a human being, is 7 seconds. So
Oh,
our retention power is less than that of a goldfish, right? So which means that the lesser, now is even more important for us to create bite-sized, encapsulating content, engaging content, so that we can really engage the audience in the shorter, crisper version of saying things. People, kind of like that and engage with that. So that's why.
wow,
That's why.
wow. That is a bonus for all of us to understand and learn from. There's a lot to do for personal branding for all of us. So before we wind up, I'd like to ask one more, anybody with any question, just one more. We can take one more question, right, Swati?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
one more question from anyone. You can just put it down on the chat or just unmute and ask away, and Miss Swati is here to just answer it. Come on. Any last question before we wind up? Okay. I guess you have cleared everyone's doubt here, Swati. Obvious. So if you have already understood what Swati had to convey to all of you, I am really, really happy to say that Swati, you've done an amazing job.
Thank you so
Once
much.
again,
I
thank you.
hope I've been able to answer all the queries and make sense to people. Yeah, thank you so much, Atul, for having me here. completely
Thank you for
enjoyed it.
taking time to just come here and just to convey what or impart your knowledge to us. And we can see that no wonder you're getting a lot of good testimonies from your coachees or from your students. And we understand with the way we see the passion in your eyes. You know, you're just ready to impart the knowledge. You just don't want to keep anything to yourself. And we're so grateful for you for that. And we believe that there's a lot going in your life and a lot more is coming towards you. A lot of we wish you the best for you, for your future projects and all that. And we believe that there's something new is going to come up. And please keep us in the loop. Yes, Sumaya is saying it was a brilliant session, Atul and Swati. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
it was amazing. And like I said, Swati, thank you so much on behalf of RV Learning Solutions. The entire team is over here. And we just are grateful for your presence. We are so grateful for you to just impart this amazing knowledge to make us understand about stagnation. I think we moved from stagnation to personal branding. I guess it was personal branding more than stagnation, but
Yeah.
we understood where we stood today. And I guess that even if there is something that we are still not understanding about stagnation, I guess they know where to get in touch with you. Where can we get in touch with you, Swati?
You can get in touch with me on LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube. I'm everywhere. Mind Code Swati is the handle.
Coach Swati, ladies and gentlemen, she is available on LinkedIn. So anytime you got these doubts to ask, you can just go away, just go on LinkedIn and just ask away, and she's there to answer your questions. So once again, on behalf of RV Learning Solutions, we are the India's leading learning and development company, and we just started with the first episode of podcast, and we are really proud as a team, as a family, coming together to put this together. It was Miss Naini's dream to have a podcast like this, and she was so happy and thrilled to have Swati as the first speaker. And on behalf of Miss Naini, we just want to thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up with more and more insightful talks very soon every week. And we have different speakers. And once again, thank you all for joining us. And you have a lovely evening ahead. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. And Swati, once again, on behalf of our Learning Solution, thank you so much for your time. We wish you the
Thank you so
best.
much.
Thank you
Thank you
all
so much.
and have a lovely evening ahead. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.